Thank you very much. Good morning to all the Dominicans that are with us today in this morning, and thank you very much to the government of Dominica for the great opportunity of being here this morning to talk about what we are doing in hand by hand with the Ministry of Housing to make this comprehensive building damage assessment that has already started in the island last week, and it is being done throughout the next 6 to 7 weeks, and that aims to have a clear view of what the Hurricane Maria made to the buildings in the island. So basically, I would also like to thank Engineers Without Borders, our partner. I would like to thank Microsoft, because this is an endeavor that we have commenced together with our partners. It is an exercise that we as UNDP have accompanied other governments to do in other post-disaster situations, such as, for example, Haiti, Nepal. And it is a very important exercise because it allows the government to have clear data on the damages that the hurricane and other kind of hazards has produced to the assets of the country. So the exercise was organized hand by hand with the Ministry of Housing. Currently we have more than 100 persons, mainly civil servants, that are going throughout the island, that are hitting the ground to assess all the buildings of the island of Dominica. They are organized into 27 teams, mainly composed by 3 persons each, and they are using a very innovative app that is provided by Microsoft, and they're using also a tablet that was provided by Microsoft to the government of Dominica through the UNDP. So basically the app allows the assessors to assess the level of damage that the building have at the level of the roof, at the level of the ceiling, at the level of the walls, at the level of the floors, but also to collect some very important demographic information that will allow in the next phase to the government of Dominica to plan evidence-based public policies that can better address the issue and the problems of housing in Dominica after Hurricane Maria. So far, the groups, the teams have worked hardly. I want to really thank and acknowledge the effort of all those assessors that are working out of their normal tasks under the sun, under heavy conditions. They are working with the rain, but they are hitting the ground and they're present throughout the whole island. So our thank goes to all of them. Without them, this effort would be really impossible, and we would not be able to build a more resilient Dominica after the disaster. We have so far worked 6 days on the field. We have collected approximately 4,000 surveys. All the surveys are uploaded on a daily basis on the Microsoft Cloud, so it's very safe and secure. There is no possibility that data can be lost or that assessments need to be done twice. So we are very efficient on this job. The job is very effective, and the data, I want to stress once again, is fundamental data for planning purposes with regards to housing and other post-disaster recovery public policy. So far, what I can say is that we have an amount of about 1/3 of the survey reflect that no damage has occurred to the housing, but we have a lot of surveys, the 2/3 of the surveys, that say that the damage has been extensive, has been important. We have a high number of houses that have been tagged as red, which means that basically they cannot be, they shouldn't be inhabited any longer. Some others have been tagged as orange, and a smaller number has been tagged as yellow. So basically, red is the most relevant damage, then comes orange, then comes yellow, and finally, if no damage or just slight damage has occurred to a building, we tag it as green. It is also important to stress that all the assessors that are on the field to do the exercise, they have been trained by UNDP, by the Ministry of Housing, and together with engineers from Engineers Without Borders, so that we can ensure that all the data that are gathered are consistent, so that basically if two persons look at the same building, they will be able to tag the same color for the same building. This is very important because if we want to make evidence-based public policy, we have to be sure that the data that we gather from the field are consistent and really reflect the reality of the damage that the building has suffered from Hurricane Maria. I want to also stress that the 3-day training saw the assessors to be present all the day. They did an incredible job, and we would like also to thank the people, the Dominican people, that are allowing the assessor to access their properties, to access their houses, to do the exercise. Without this permission, it would be very difficult for our assessors to clearly do the job and correctly assess the building. So many thanks to all the Dominicans, and once again I would like to ask you please to help our assessors in doing their job, allow them to assess your property. This is going to be very important information that we are collecting. Also, I just want to emphasize that it is not an insurance related assessment, so it is just done for the purpose of providing good, reliable data to the government for planning public policy in housing. Thank you very much.